Hey everybody, this is Tali Berman, autism specialist, and today what I want to do is I am rereading a book that I find really valuable, and as I read it, there's nuggets and ideas and concepts that I really want to share with you so you can integrate them in your work with your child. So I wanted to read a clip of it today. The book I'm rereading, is Kids Beyond Limits, written by Anat Baniel. So this is a book I've read many times before. I've interviewed Anat Baniel several times. She's actually a fellow Israeli. And there's some concepts in here that I really want to share with you. A lot of what she writes about, if you're not familiar with her work, is the idea of brain plasticity, the way that your brain can change and your child's brain can change, and how movement, and especially attention to movement, plays a critical role in making that happen. So she has 9 essentials, 9 real basic foundational concepts in helping the brain grow and change in this way. And there's one piece here that has to do with the essential slow. That's one of her essentials, is slow. But specifically within being slow and helping your child be slow to be more attentive to his own movements, she has a really great point here on what she calls slow listening. So I wanted to read this piece to you. One of the most important human needs is to be seen and to feel that we are heard and validated, which is so important and such a challenge for our children on the autism spectrum. So many children with special needs have an especially difficult time communicating with the adults around them. They have difficulty making themselves and their experiences understood, especially when they themselves have a hard time making sense of their own world. Your child needs for you to be an especially capable listener. You can become such a listener through slow listening. That is, not listening not just to her words, but also to her communication, through her sounds, movements, inflections, facial expressions, body language, and all other forms of expression. To do so, you need to first slow yourself down internally. Quiet down any internal chatter that might be going on in your head. Take a few slow, deep breaths and shift your attention to your child. Let yourself wonder what your child is communicating through her words or body language. You may respond by speaking to your child, describing what you understand her communication to be. Or you may simply ask her if that is what she's trying to communicate. You will know if you are on target by your child's response. When you're on target, she or he might immediately relax and become more responsive and communicative, may even be playful. When you're not on target, she will tend to withdraw or maybe get upset or angry. At such times, just continue to do slow listening until you feel that you and your child are connecting. So I think this was a really important passage because slow listening is so important, obviously, for verbal kids who sometimes have a hard time getting things out as quickly as they need to in our very fast, speedy world where we're always juggling between so many things. And how important it is to be attentive and to tell your child, no rush, I'm here, I'm listening. I want you to feel heard, I want you to feel validated. But for many parents might be thinking, but my child doesn't communicate verbally, or his communication is limited verbally. This is, if not as important, then more important for children like that. So that if your child is communicating through gestures, through body language, through facial expressions, the importance of observing your child carefully and speaking to your child in that way. Right? So you might say, I think what you're trying to communicate is this isn't working for you, or you're hungry, or you're upset about something. Is that right? And communicate at a different level, allowing your child to make himself or herself heard or seen through a different channel of communication. And the biggest thing that it requires is for you simply to be attentive and to practice slow listening. So I wanted to really convey that to you. I mean, this is a skill, slow listening, that we can use in many areas of our lives, not just with special needs children, children in general, and to each other. So I really encourage you to practice the skill of slow listening. And I believe that as you practice this more, when you're putting your child to bed, or just a pocket of time in the middle of the day, where instead of being in 1,000 places at one time, you decide to stop and do some slow listening, that you'll begin to develop and hone that skill further and begin to understand and read your child's communication in all forms much more clearly, creating further connection between you and your child and an experience from your child of feeling heard and validated, which is the most empowering and important experience you can offer your child. So slow listening from the book, Kids Beyond Limits by Anat Baniel. I would love to hear from you. Scroll on down and tell me what is one thing you are taking from this video today, and what is one way that you can practice slow listening in your life with your child.